My grandfather King, who's my paternal grandfather, was a pastor, and he and his wife Harriet were ministers. He was the only man I knew that I respected. I didn't have a lot of male figures that I saw as high and worthy as him. Most of the rest of them, so I think we all have our beliefs that come from our experiences. And so for me, that I'm still married 36 years is like a miracle to me. I'm like, wow, I'm still here and he still likes me and I like him. And we're grown ups and our kids are grown up and we're parents of adult kids and we're traveling and we're still like, he was on the flight to London and I'm across the hall because you're in those little cubicles sleeping. And I had this moment of, wow, I'm very blessed. And I went across the hall in my little pajamas and I just plopped on his lap and I hugged him and I just started crying and I kissed his cheek. I said, I love you, honey, and thank you for everything. Thank you for succeeding at your dream. Thank you for believing in this family. Thank you for allowing us to come with you on this ride, this adventure you wanted to live. And thank you for trying to be a better person. And I just was hugging him, and the little stewardess came by. She's like, "Oh, are you newlyweds?" I said, "We're oldie weds. We're really old."
Oldie weds.
I said, "But I just had a bubble. I just had a bubble." I said, "I just felt like
Yeah.
gratitude." And yeah, and I'm a little emotional from that because
Yeah.
That's lovely.
But I want
yeah.
to circle back because there's something that you're talking about that I think is really important to highlight, which is, I put in sort of like that trust piece and sort of like the faith in the relationship piece. And
Mhm.
as addicts, sometimes partners, we tend to get a little all or nothing. It's all good
Mhm.
or it's not good, or we're good
Mhm.
now and it's never going to be bad again. And
Mhm.
what I hear in your story, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is there are moments when I really trust him and I trust that he's doing what's going on. And there are moments when, for whatever reason, I don't. And I get afraid. And sometimes that's situational. And sometimes there's something that he's doing I need to talk about, but sometimes it's just my stuff. And then there are
Mhm.
other moments where I trust him. And what I really appreciate for you is like you recognizing, there's something that keeps coming up here that's not him. It's my situation. So let me
Mhm.
go do some EMDR to see if I can find my way through that. But
Mhm.
it highlights this piece that in recovery, in healing from betrayal trauma, it's not a straight path. It's steps forward, it's steps backwards. And when we take a step backward, it's not the end of the line. It's not a bad thing.
Mhm.
It just is.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with you about the all or nothing,
Oops.
and him too. So um, yeah, I would definitely sometimes feel very like defeated or guilty if I would have, betrayal trauma, like rehashing, or I would go, oh, but I think about it like, well, like you say, like growth in anything has its twists and turns and up and down. And,
Yeah.
I'm a pianist, right? And so you learn to play your scales and then you flub and then you have a breakthrough and you can master that Mozart piece and then you're off school in the summer and you don't want to play the piano this summer. So you life is just that way, the ebb and flow. And I've always wanted perfection. I've always had that like little perfect thing in my head. Um, but yeah, while we walk on this planet, we have trials and tribulations, and we have economic downturn. We have children who are not doing what they should. We have, pick your battle, and those battles, whatever they are, um, can set you up to feel vulnerable. And I think of my spouse that way. He could have an attack of some kind. He could go through something that would make him vulnerable to relapse. Um, and thankfully, he has given himself, and I don't say this lightly. He said one of the reasons he went public was to burn all his bridges.
Yeah.
He said, I want to share it and talk about it because the world has the right to hold me accountable for it.